my friends. My name is Airyus, and I play games. I also snowboard. In order to understand what's next for Weaver, we have to go back a bit into his past and understand where he really came from. You see, here's the thing. Although Chris Weaver was credited to pioneering many new advancements in video games, he really wasn't always interested in video games. Yeah, man, crazy. Take it all the way back to Weaver getting postgraduate work at Columbia University, subsequently followed by a job as an assistant director of news at NBC. Wait, what? Chris Weaver, before the 1980s, worked for NBC and then later ABC? After that, he went on to become the vice president for science and technology at the National Cable Television Association, NCTA. Then, later appointed chief engineer. Whoa, that's a super nerd. Bro moves up fast, huh? I guess that's what it's like when you're super smart. After that, he goes on to start Video Magic Laboratories, a company working in, I said laboratories. What do you want me to say? Laboratories? Whatever, man. A company working in vehicular simulators for military and entertainment purposes. Dude, whenever the military is involved, you know something is always up, right? In any case, this gave him access to learn and improve on technologies like graphical interfaces, optical storage, computer-assisted editing, including encoding spatial information for tracking camera shots. If that's way over your head, don't worry, it was over mine too. That just means before the 1980s, Chris Weaver was already working on technology that would later be used in virtual reality. Whoa, bruh. Then, in the 1980s, Weaver was introduced to video games. When he was asked by one of his engineers to look at a football game idea he was developing, Weaver straight up tells his engineer that his idea was boring. Whoa. What the fuck, bruh? Anyway, he goes on to help said engineer develop a football game with a physics-based engine versus stats-based engine they originally started with. In a nutshell, these guys paved the way for the next generation in sports games. But there's a dark side to it. But I can't tell you, not yet anyway, and not without the permission of my informant. His identity must be protected. You know, the Dark Brotherhood has been hired many times to end him by his benefactors being exposed by his truths. Yes, his truths. But each time and time again, he eludes their grasps, almost mocking their every attempt. So if you want to hear more about the dark side of Weaver, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see if my informant would be interested in coming forward. Because what happens next is gonna blow your mind. The game Weaver and his engineer collaborate to create ends up being called Gridiron. Bethesda Softworks, the company Weaver founded in 1986, releases their first game, Gridiron. In the same year, Gridiron was the first modern sports game where previous games relied on, like I said earlier, statistics to determine the outcome of plays on the field. Bethesda based their game on real-world physics, meaning the ball and players interacted with each other and affected their environment, rather just acting out a deterministic drama on a pixelated field. Yo, this got them noticed by Electronic Arts. Yes, EA Sports Electronic Arts. Not just noticed, but hired to develop the very first John Madden football. And, you guessed it, that would be based on the same engine Gridiron was founded on. In a quote, Weaver said, quote, "I like to think a piece of gridiron still lives in John Madden football even today," end quote. Bruh, I always thought Bethesda was a fantasy game company. Who knew that it was built on the backs of football? Stay tuned for the continuation of this legendary series premiering next week at the same time, Wednesday, 4:20 p.m. Mountain. Leave a like, hit an up thumb, and get this truth out there past the AI algorithm. Stay rad, my friends. Cheers.